Sisters Season 7, Episode 12. Let's get into this recap.
But my girls hold me down when them boys mess around. When my love life is a headache, we going out tonight. 'Cause I'm in love.
Y'all, we waited long enough. Let's spill this tea. So we pick up right where we left off with Karen finding out she has two baby daddies. And of course, she got to call Mama Lisa. Mama Lisa pull up with the pull up to see what's going on with the Gomes-ons. And Karen explains to her how, why, and when she got two baby daddies. Now, Miss Lisa want to know how she told Zach and Aaron because, yes, it's confirmed Aaron is the father of the other baby. And she has not. She more concerned about her image. She said this going to make her look like a slut and make her look loose. And Mama Lisa like, don't worry about that. Everybody done something in their life. And baby, she ain't got to call Zach because Zach is calling her. He want to know the results. And Karen is telling him that she'd rather tell him face to face. And he like, just tell me now. But she set up a meeting for them to meet up the next night. So yeah, we still waiting on the results. Now Karen is business as usual. She is at the shop making her coin as she should. But Trey is there too on his off day, helping her fix stuff around the shop. Update on Pam. She is still selling her products out the salon and they are doing really well, might I add. And of course, Trey is there flirting with Karen per usual. But anyway, back to the tea. My baby daddy had went home and told Fatima that Karen wanted to meet with him about the results. And of course, Fatima said that she going, and if she can't go, then he can't go. So he is on his way to Karen's house because the time has come. And Fatima called him and was like, okay, I'm on my way too. And he was like, okay, just leave the Vaseline and the sneaker energy in the car. And Fatima said, baby, if Karen don't come for me, I won't come for her. So we know what that means. So boom, Zach and Fatima arrive at Karen's house. Karen not happy to see Fatima, but Zach like, look, she deserved to know too. So Karen like, I don't want no mess today. Fatima like, I didn't come to start any mess. I'm just here to support Zach. So Zach like, look, what's the results? So Karen like, well, I can't tell y'all right now. We waiting on the special guest. So Fatima like, who the special guest? Because some of us have things to do. Oop, you started it. And Karen was like, well, some of us wasn't invited. Oop, she finished it. Baby, you better eat. And Zach was like, well, some of us just want to know when the special guest is coming. So just like that, knock knock is a knock at the door. Who is it? The special guest? Well, one of them, it's Danny. Now I know what y'all thinking. What Danny doing there? Because the last time we seen Danny and Karen, they was in a fight. Well, let me fill y'all in. Earlier, Sabrina and Danny was talking, and Sabrina was telling Danny that she should apologize to Karen because Karen's been through a lot, and she hormonal, and blah, blah, blah. And Danny was like, I don't feel like I should have to apologize to her, but I think about talking to her and stopping by her house. It just so happened that the night that Danny decided to go talk to Karen, all the tea was spilling. Okay, we call back up. So Danny is like, oh, what's going on here? And Cameron is like, what you doing here? And Danny like, well, I came to talk. And Cameron was like, we not doing that because you're not even supposed to be here. And then Fatima was like, well, we here for the DNA test results. And Danny was like, oh, so you did it, talking to Zach. And they like, you did what? And she was like, you took my advice. And Zach like, what advice? And Danny was like, to get the DNA test results. Now, this shocked both Fatima and Karen. And they both was like, what? Because remember, Karen thought that Fatima was the one pushing Zach to get the DNA test results, but nope, egg on your face. So Fatima like, well, I thought you decided to get the DNA test because that's what we wanted to do. And Cameron was like, yeah, I thought you was getting the test results because Fatima was pushing you, but no, it was my friend stabbing me in the back again. And then he was like, baby, I ain't gonna stab you in the back. If I'm gonna stab you, it's gonna be in the face. And Zach was like, look, Fatima, we made a decision, but I was still on the fence. And Karen, I told you it wasn't all Fatima, so that's on you. Now, before they can get to arguing, because you know they was finna argue, the real special guest came. Aaron. And of course, my baby daddy is instantly annoyed. Now, Zach starts with John Aaron, and he's like, what this clown doing here? And Cameron like, well, he one of the two people I actually invited here today. And he was like, okay, well, you ain't have to invite him just to tell me I'm not the father. And she was like, well, I wanted both of y'all here because both of y'all are the father. And they're like, what? How is that even possible? So she explained the whole little situation. And Zach like, are you serious? Are you making this up? And she provided the DNA test to them. And Zach is happy, baby. He is hoping for a girl. And Fatima is over there cutting her eye at him like, boy, you better shut the hell up. And then he is like, ooh, child, this tea is too hot. I got to go. And Cameron was like, okay, but don't say nothing to the girls because the only people that know are the people in this room. And she said she wasn't going to say nothing. We going to see. So She leaves. John, Aaron, Karen, Zach, and Fatima are the only ones there. And Zach again start with John Aaron. Yes, my baby daddy was starting stuff. And he says to John Aaron, just remember, my baby is my baby, your baby is your baby. And Aaron like, look, I don't even care about none of that, man. And Zach like, whatever. So Karen like, okay, well, now y'all got the results. Y'all can go. And Zach like, okay, well, I'm happy. I'm finna go tell baby Michael he might have a little sister. He rubbing on her stomach as he walking out the door. Boy, take your ass home. Fatima is not finna play with you. And then Aaron is like, okay, well, can we talk real quick? And Cameron like, well, I'm tired. We can talk tomorrow. Child, why is you still playing in this man's face? And John Aaron was like, okay, cool. He is giving up. As he should. I am proud of him. Know your worth, king. Now, y'all, let's check in with Sabrina as we let RT chill. So she is taking her IVF shots. We know she on her IVF journey. She is still seeing the chocolate Mr. Clean Rich. And she has a date with him later that night so they can finish their TV show. And, baby, it is a very freaky show. So, you know, this turns them on. And they start getting freaky. And, baby, the way they was acting, she gonna be pregnant naturally, even though he said he don't want no kids. Now we check in with Maurice, who is back at the bank. Whoop, whoop. But he is causing a ruckus. He arguing with this co-worker of his. She's saying that he stole her pop. He said he ain't steal her pop, but she need to drink water anyway because her skin is messed up, child. But he did steal her pop. He said his sugar was low, so he drank her pop. And Sabrina like, Maurice, you cannot be doing that. Like, you know they already think that you here because of me. And he said, baby, in is, and what they gonna do about it, child. But he said he gonna stop causing the ruckus. Now, he is still seeing Grayson. And he really liked this man. He telling him to come home. Y'all live together or something. Now, we know Maurice back at the bank, so he gave up his little page where he was doing all those sexual acts and stuff. And Grayson said that he ready to make it official with Maurice because he don't want to be with nobody else but him. So we're going to see what that's about, child, because right now it's seeming too good to be true, and I am very skeptical. Danny is still with Tony. They still at the airport, and he needs a favor from her. So she like, okay, what's T? What's going on with the goings-ons? He done got himself in a bind. He got a last-minute meeting, and he need her to babysit. Auntie is out of town. So Danny reluctantly agreed. So she go home later that night. The kids and Tony waiting on her at the door. As soon as Tony left, them kids turned up. Now they need to watch TV. They hungry. They want to play dress up. They bored. And Danny is like, oh, my God, when is y'all daddy coming back? The little girl in the found Danny handcuffs, asking her what this for, what this do, what that do. And, baby, Tony came back home. Come get these kids. And Danny cannot wait to pull out that weed pen. As she should, because them kids bad as hell. Now, let's spill the rest of this tea, because, you know, sisters wouldn't be sisters if they didn't give us this Andy and Gary saga. So, boom. Andy and Fatima still at Gary's office threatening him about where Penelope is. And he is not fazed. He like, there you go again, Andy, threatening me. You or all people should know I don't take kindly to threats. But I am flattered that you want to get her out the way so you can come back to me. Boy, the delusion. And Andy like, where is she? And he was like, girl, why you so worried about my fiance? She's fine. And Andy like, well, why she not answering? And he like, well, she throw tantrums sometimes and she ignore people. And then he said, or maybe she saw straight through your fake ass. Now Fatima gotta say something. And she like, you know what? I'm sick of your stuff. And she put the knife back to this man's throat. And he was like, child, I didn't do nothing. The only thing I'm guilty of is being fine as hell. Don't you agree, Andy? And Andy like, this has gone too far. And he was like, well, how I know you ain't do something to her? I mean, you the one trying to get her to leave me. And Andy was like, well, tell me, please. And he was like, you know what? You two crazy bitchs need to get out my office before it gets ugly in here. Okay. And Fatima like, boy, ain't nobody scared of you, because trust me, she is not. And Andy was like, we're going to let the law deal with this. And he was like, ha, ha, ha. And he said he owned the police. Now, I'm a little thrown off, because as they was walking out his office, Andy seen this blood stain on his wall. And it was a big blood stain. It wasn't just like a little speck. Them cleaners was up and down his office. Ain't nobody seen that. Gary ain't seen that. And y'all want us to believe that? Okay, anyway. Fatima and Andy leave. They in the car. Fatima talking about how she wanted to cut him. And Andy like, we got to go to the police. I saw the blood stain. And Fatima like, well, ain't she carrying his child? Well, he hurt a baby. And Andy said, baby, she feel like Gary would do anything to get what he want. And Fatima was like, okay, well, you need to get with Jordan so he can go file a police report, because he hurt brother. Now, like I said, Gary can care less because as soon as they left, guess who he was sexing? Tamara. And look what they were saying to each other. And Hayden just sitting over there like a sucker. He done brought this girl flowers and the lit candles, got her some wine, talking about she been holding him down. And she like, yeah, because I love you. And she like, oh, you got that big case at work. You don't have to be doing all of this. And baby, luck will have it that Marie called Hayden looking for Andy because she needs to see both of them. Sounds about right. So he goes to meet with Marie. Andy is on the phone with Jordan because she stopped by his house, but he wasn't there because he been busy, child. And now he at home tired. He going to bed because he got a meeting. So she didn't tell him that his sister is missing. Child, that is a family emergency. You should have woke his ass up. But anyway, Tamara made her way to Gary's office, and he did exactly what he said he was going to do in those text messages, child. So anyway, the next day come about, and Fatima go to Andy's office because she want to update on Penelope, and still nobody has heard anything. And now Andy saying all this is her fault. Girl, no, it's not. Hayden comes in the office to tell her that Marie was looking for them and that Marie finna eat her for breakfast, lunch, and dinner because she missed their meeting. And Marie called her and ate her up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So now Andy got to have this egg on her face and walk in Hayden's office to work with him, child. Miss Marie will be dropped as a client, child. It is not that serious. You is not going to disrespect me, my love. Now, she finally found time to call Jordan so she can go meet with him so she can finally tell him what's going on with his sister. And now he worried because he like, yo, have you heard from my sister? Like, I'm ready to go to the crib to check on her. And she like, no, just wait. Don't go over there. I'm going to tell you everything. So he like, are you not telling me something? Boy, she just said she finna tell you everything. So clearly she ain't telling you something. Golly. So she finally gets there and he is ready to swallow her whole. And I'm like, I thought you was worried about your sister. So she ends up telling him like, look, Penelope missing. And he's like, what you mean missing? Like, the nigga is slow, child. Missing. Like, she can't be found, sir. So he like, well, what you mean? You think Gary has something to do with this? And she was like, well, I told you he can't be trusted. He has a very dark, evil side. And he like, what you mean? Oh my God. And she like, Gary has done terrible things and gotten away with them. And he like, well, this man is having a baby with my sister. And she was like, I didn't know her. I didn't know any of this before. And he was like, you still should have told me. And she like, well, I was just trying to help. There's more. I'm telling you now. So she told him the whole plan and how she was trying to get Penelope to leave Gary. And he like, you was doing all this behind my back. And she was like, we got to go to the police. And he was like, yeah, we finna go to the police now, child. So that's what they do. They head to the police station. But baby Gary is already at the police station. And he is telling the police that Penelope is missing. And he think that Andy has something to do with it because she is obsessed with him. And she is crazy. He just telling them all these lies. And then Andy and Jordan pulled up. And Andy like, what the F you doing here? And Jordan like, where my sister? And now Gary acting like a scared little child talking about, oh my God, this temper. What did you just say? And Jordan like, you heard me, you bastard. And then the police came and was like, chill unless y'all all want to be detained. And it went off. But anyway, y'all, that was that on that. I know this video is late, but I had graduations and birthdays this week. I am sorry. But I will be back next week with a recap to episode 13, so come back for that. In the meantime, between time, watch the videos for my other shows. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's have a conversation down in the comment section below. Don't forget to follow me on all my social medias. I will link them down in the description box. And yeah, it's your girl, Cynthia Renee, and I will see y'all here next week with another Sistas video. Peace.